Started here in a minute. My Russian buddy sending me some information. Good friend of mine. Good associate, comrade, whatever you want to, whatever word you want to use. Very good friend of mine. You know, we have brothers out here who you can love regardless of how they, raising sometimes has a part to play in it. An individual can be raised in your neighborhood, and in ignorance, we go, well, that's Whitey Ford, that's so and so, and Whitey, that's the black. Like, we do dumb shit because we've been raised. Well, he's a good brother. Let's put it like that. Okay, trustworthy one too. That's the amazing and beautiful thing, which is not really amazing in a negative way. I'm not saying that push some other narrative. I'm just saying it's pretty freaking amazing. Good dude. It's not that many out here. There's not a lot out here. You know what I mean? Let's put it like that. And that's sad. Sadly, you feel me? Oh, there we go. Wow. Okay. Anyway, change 36. Just send me some information. Nothing I can share on here. It's just the way it is. It's not no secrets, and I don't keep those yet. It just can't be shared on here. Like that. All right. It's good information. Well, it's not about that war, but he didn't care less about it. They've been fighting that war since 2009, 10. Like, I mean, anybody stuck there, something's wrong with you. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm wearing my "Let's Make America Native Again" shirt. And I'm not talking about the ones who are ignorant and cut everybody else out. I ain't talking about them. You feel me? I'm not talking about them. They're in ignorance too. So y'all got to see yesterday a little. What you don't know is I have no feelings about it. I mean, you saw me speak. You saw me speak with who I am. You dig what I'm saying? Halito, everybody. Grand Rising. Y'all saw it. And I've had a lot of people inbox me saying, Red, don't pay her no. I don't pay her no mind. I don't care about her. All right. When too many people watching you how you move and you're losing numbers and you just that and the other. I mean, when you had to reach out into a past and you're supposed to have been supportive, that shows you the clientele of the people you deal with. And if you want to follow her, I'm not telling you not to. See, I'm gonna be diplomatic right now because I know how dangerous I am. I stay strapped and dangerous for a reason, and it ain't to hold people's hands and be nice with them. I study martial arts and boxing for a reason. There are people who are training harder than you are and anybody else are, and you're not ready for them. There's a reason. So when people, because this platform makes them all think that they're tough guys, gals, whatever. I say this tough guys. They're not. When they have to act that way, and they don't really walk in that life, I don't care if they was a setup queen. There was one that she got dead real quick in Chicago, and there was a few more in Detroit. Cali had a handful of them. I'm talking about real ones who were hitters. And I ain't talking about gangster thugs and all this new 90 twist Zionist narrative. I'm talking about long before that. I'm talking about people who go out there with a Henry single action repeating rifle. You know what I'm saying? Boom, and blow your wig off. All right? Big difference. I was gonna have a mimosa, but I'm gonna have it's good for the freaking heart. Have me a little glass before I have before I break breakfast. Break my breakfast. Break my fast. So it was good. People would be able to see that. No, if you didn't comment, you didn't comment. for those who did, you see for yourself. You know, whatever rage and anger that's going on in their life, they need to find a way out. And if they are, let me tell you something. Another thing, being ex-military is not like we didn't know about the feds. A lot of times you can work for the feds, you don't get paid. You have the means to make money however you choose, as long as you're doing it legally. As far as case wise or status, and they don't care. All right, so I'm not here to beat up on, because people are gonna do what they're doing. I wasn't on the platform yelling and screaming over there, you know, and in the stages when, you know, all the bugging stuff happened. I just, like, I saw it, ignored it. People shared. I was like, yeah, whatever. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm here for you guys. Those who selectively come, not all those coming to watch because they being noisy. They ain't about supporting and helping. Them the niggers and niggeresses you got to pay attention to. Them ones that come and always want to jump up because they hear their name, but you can say whatever you want about me. You know, I've already put all my truth out. This was funny about most people, right? Then they start going digging, especially when they, you know, motherfuckers working the feds. They think they can find out everything. You can't find out shit. That's just to let her know that, because she'll come and watch. She's not blocked. You know what I'm saying? It's gotta, you know, don't come over on in the horse's lane you ain't ready to run with. Just don't do it. This platform makes people think they can. And that's where they make that grave mistake. And then they allow the media to play out the most gross details on, you know, incumbent, you know, what you call it. That shit means nothing to me. See, there's still people out here pushing this movement and pushing this ideology, but they're still stuck in another place. They're not beneficial or helpful for anybody, because, and they show that people either aware, that means that they're enlightened to it, so they stay away from it, or they're stuck. And I can say stupid a whole lot of words that ain't gonna get nothing done, right? But they're stuck in a place where they're still doubtful. They're very lazy. They won't do the you know, have to take the resources and everything, the references, and do the research, or they find it too hard because of their daily how they live. You can't allow anybody to persuade you. I told y'all here, I'm not here to persuade you, change your way of thinking. I want you to look at something. I want you to look at something. I'm gonna do it by telling you my story, my travels, my little, you know, when I say my story, it's part of my story is the studies, the things I read on a regular, tons of books. You know what I'm saying? Papa, that's light. That's what that word actually means. I think Lex was the first one to do that, and that's not how it's spelled, but it's Hapa. It's light. Trust me. Higher, ha, Jah, whatever. You know, everybody, our people have a way of manipulating everything, and this is part of who I am. To have the reference and resources to this information that I've been saying for the longest time, before these internet existed, and the basis of how they've used it, that's really a weapon, a tool. And most people didn't know that, even when we were saying, oh, and I don't care, because I don't parlay in their game. I'm not part of their little leg race. A lot of you are. A lot of you partake in it. Like, when I had to say what I had to say, I didn't care. I didn't care. It's gonna be some truth and probably some gaslighting in there too, because easily triggered. Now I could be on point and actually point out some facts that are based on real facts, but I'm not nasty like that. I don't have to go that way. You know, digging in there. What about the lady with you and you and didn't even know the story? Like, you're so engrossed. People are so engrossed in a world. Like, stay there if that's where you at. Don't go tempting to use people's story against them. Then you're not really Aboriginal indigenous. That shows your card. And especially when the story's about her maybe being, this woman maybe being a black widow of a sort. She went to some serious abuse, y'all. And you know how the reservations are, right? I mean, we pretty much roommates for like 9 years. No, seriously. And I saw the worst, and I heard the most ugliest things come out of her. And when I realized, you know what, it's time for me to go. All of a sudden, I told y'all the story. Coming back, going to pick up some work on my side by side, 4-door, right? 6-hour drive. All of a sudden, she hungry. We got good food at home. Sometimes it's good to fast. You dig what I'm saying? And She was driving like a fucking idiot, so I told her to get the fuck out. I'm driving my truck. Cause see, you do that to everybody. Your Aunt Rose, everybody's vehicle, you draw and tore it up when they get in your vehicle. You want everybody to be pristine with it. No, you ain't gonna do that with. I don't know where the fuck you. And I remember telling her, I don't know where the fuck you got that analogy. Or you somebody else? You talking to somebody else? Make you believe that shit, nigga? We way out here in Neverland. I mean, I had to go there. You know what I mean? Because sometimes people get beside themselves and they get comfortable in their ignorance and they think, oh, it's all right. See, when I went there, but that was afterward because the shit was crazy. And I told you, 5 minutes, 45 minutes later, I'm like, feel like I got the chills. I'm like, something ain't right. Went to sleep, woke up, couldn't breathe. I'm drowning on blood. Yeah, I can hold my breath longer than 2 minutes. But anyway, I went ahead and I, for 6 days, thinking it would clear up. And that's when I was like, no, everything popped up in my head very clear. And I remember I looked over at her and she was looking away and she looked scared as fuck, like, how's this motherfucker still here? And I remember I got up, went and I coughed up all this blood, stood up. I said, Charisma's gonna come. Turned around. Now, you know, I had my pistol in my. I wasn't gonna harm her. I mean, if I would have had facts, she'd have been dead. Without no hesitation, no losing, no sleep, no nothing. I don't care. I'm in a. See, I've adjusted to this world of fake and frauds. That if you participate in it, I'm not gonna lose no sleep, no bearings, nothing. There's a creator and a creation. There's a mother and she's a nurturer. All right. One and the other is befitting to betwixt each other. So if you're broken and you want to cause harm, pain, death, and all that other stuff, you got to fucking go. I'm not going to feel no kind of way. It's not being numb. It's not in lieu of some medical terminology, a sociopath, or this, that, and other. It's just that you show that you didn't give a fuck. Why should I care? And that's how I am. I am like that. And see, some people want to play in that field. And they really ain't like that. They got to be all emotional and stuff. I like to put this under my arm. Y'all can think killing me. But anyway, right? Some people really ain't like that. They got on this. They're an emissary for images. They're not an emissary for truth. And then their emotions, because they get that don't mean nothing. Getting like this and all that don't mean a thing. And if you can't dismiss something that goes against what you feel or how you feel, then so be it. But if you got to pop out and say things out of your mouth that most people will smack you upside your head with and put you go down YouTube history with an 8-ball jacket and Mr. Hard Mike, look, man, I know y'all dug that. You felt that. You know what I'm saying? Come on. Then we have a third one standing there for smacking the taste out of mouth of internet, great motherfuckers. Standing there with a motherfucking rod in one hand and a Michael Jackson glove in the other by MG8, well, 8-ball, 8-ball jacket wearing and Mike the Hard, swag, swag, swag. You see what I'm saying? When people don't understand you, but they understand you to stand under you, it's always going to be something flagrant, especially when they don't really know you. If you see them moving that way, you dig what I'm saying? And I just want people I would like for people, fuck what I want. I would like what I need for people is to understand that it ain't that serious. Some people have a hard time because I say, I'm all man, there ain't no estrogen here. Don't come up with that goofy ass house be mad bullshit, science DNA breakdown bullshit. There's one and there's the other. Bottom fucking line. They want you to believe that so they can do all this goofy shit they're doing. Motherfuckers wanting to be machines and motherfuckers wanting to be a her and motherfuckers wanting to be a him. Now you could just fucking say you a toaster. Y'all need to understand that's what it's all about. You dig what I'm saying? And that's not going to get it. So they could come, they could show, I don't care that, but it shows the false bravado and the ignorance. And if you want to stay over there, stay there. Get some sauce from both. It's up to you. I've got a lot of things to talk about that most people aren't inclined or privy to, and just don't think in that process as I do. You dig what I'm saying? Process the way I think. It's not the same as everybody else. It just is. Some people say your zodiac sign is no. Like when you say Gemini, we were meant to keep peace between the barriers. See, no, people don't even know the truth because they're not zodiac signs. See, we've allowed. I'm gonna throw some at you right now. Let's say Tartaria was the remnants of our younger brothers' warlike capabilities in building megaliths and weapons, and we destroyed all that. And we left the cities barren. We didn't destroy them like we did the first few times. So what they did when they got out, they knew there was a war, but they knew they couldn't win it. So we believe in this is hypothetical, believing that they were making change for better, and some of them more. No, there were still those who planned and they knew how to do it, and that was by marrying in. Keeping some out, knowing that they're bastardly, they don't like the father nor the mother. They don't like life at all, creation, nothing about it. When they struck that, when that kindred struck the blow on the older brother's head and killed him, the wolf and the dark wolf, he was subjugated unilaterally to be in that state until the end. There's no way out of it. Now, let's say that's part of the story, and all we did was mitigate the resources of those places, knowing how they operate, and shut the power off once they got out. That's why they came back and the power was gone. But we knew how to manifest it in the physical without the machinery, because we were granted and given such much reward, yet because we didn't get rid of them, and this is the image of our father and love of our mother, we let them back in to our own detriment. Let's say it's like that. Let's say that's the story. Or we can hold on to the narrative. We know it was a Negro world. It was a reason why we had to put them away. I know it's hard to contend with that, but let's keep it hypothetical. All right, y'all do the work. You got the name, you got a time period. It's up to you to make it, be useful and resourceful to self. You dig what I'm saying? But now, I've heard a lot of information. That's why I made the statements I have, because I got tired of seeing all the infighter, all the tough guys, and all that. And I've done that, and people see me on Facebook and everything. I'm tired of it. Because real motherfuckers who are actually bona fide tough, we don't. That's not how we live. We don't talk that shit. We say it when we're making a statement, like motherfucker, you find out. It's not bad. I'm not being a badass. I mean, I'm living when I'm saying that. And it's so fucking intimidating. Motherfuckers can't even grasp it. They think it's an attack, and these niggas ain't really ready for a real attack. But because we live in this time when everybody believe they badasses. Anyway, right? This is what we get. Either you know how to deal with it, you just don't have to deal with it all. Because I can just ignore the shit, like whatever. It's that simple. That's why I'm coming out here just to be a little politic in here. You know what I'm saying? Because they matter not to me. They really, really do. I mean, it's not an affliction with it. It's not like I want to see the worst. All right? I'm not built like that. Because the worst could be something from me could be something fucking very, very vile and wicked. And I'm not particularly big on that. So that's why I don't go there. I don't, you know what I'm saying? But yesterday I did what I did. Because you're not going to do that goofy shit here. You're not going to wait until it's all over and nobody's in the chat and start running your mouth, because it doesn't matter. I just remove. Fucking I'll send off the report. It's fucking harassment and bullying. Oh, I know all of which going on here. Well, I could make it personal. Say, hey, look, I'm on my way. Fuck's up. Oh, no, I got some homies. They'll be meet me at the airport and I'll have a ride. Meet wherever the fuck you want. But that I know that I don't have to be that serious, because they can't handle that. And I mean, and so that's unnecessary. That's the part that I want to work on with getting some of the people out of that. Because we can't, community-wise, be building our nation for those who actually want to do the work and be moving and building our cul-de-sacs or whatever, how we're going to build them to live amongst one another and have the mentalities. Not going to benefit anybody. And then we'll have those liberal ideologies come in and, so and so feels this way. Oh, shut the fuck up about feelings. It's not eradicating them, it's getting in touch with real ones compared to all the fake ones so many people are dealing with. And people think they can say things and do this and blurt this out, and they're going about their life because that's what they do, especially liberals. And I'm attacking liberals because it's a fact. And hey, we could do this, and everybody say, and most of them might even say they're not liberal-minded. I mean liberals, but they're liberal-minded. They don't even know it because of the energy around. That's why I made that statement yesterday. I'm not sitting here knocking liberals for being liberal. What I'm doing is knocking the mentality that comes with it. I've seen it repetitively, and I'm not talking about some fucking media. Right out here, I grew up around it. I served around it. And it seems to only get fucking worse. Especially when people don't want to buy into the truth of the original procurement of who they were. The original Republicans, the people who ran the state affairs up to the 1940s, maybe 50s. And all the history you see right now is pure fabricated lie. All the first ladies were Negroes up until 1895, 1920. I think even in 1920 and 40, they just looked like Lena Horne or some shit. Real talk. Don't believe in all them paintings and shit you see. And those still photographies with the silver, don't believe in half shit. More than half of those are false. All right? T. I got some in the oven I need to go and check it out and take you guys with me. I got you all on my tripod. How did it go? Is this warming some stuff up? Yesterday. Spinach, broccoli, asparagus with parsley, cayenne pepper. That my alarm was quiet. That's paprika crusted potatoes, red potatoes, new potatoes. We call them new potatoes. So I think it's probably ready to come out. And some Louisiana style dirty rice. Oh hell yeah. All right, I gotta put something else in it. I'm just gonna lay it down right there. Grab this off, put something else in it. Olive oil. Gotta hit it with gotta dazzle with the olive oil. Excuse me. I know it's like, wait a minute, I'm on live. He lay me down. I go there and lay all that down. Let me get this right. Oh yeah. This is dirty rice. Ain't nothing like it either, man. All right, so let me get this olive oil up in here. And then I got an avocado. And put it in for about another 10 minutes. Motherfucker, good. Ain't nothing like it. You hear me? You feel me? It's gonna be mine. All right. So throw this back on it. Oh, you know what? Let's throw a fresh piece on it. I'm almost done here, y'all. Give me a minute. Remember what I explained about aluminum yesterday? Woo, that's hot. Should put it back there as well, man. All right. Little vent. Let's get this back in there. Now this is all right. Give it 10 minutes. Temp by right about 270, no, 265. Boom. Keep it on the same time. Yeah. So let's put it back up there. There we go. All right, so we're good to go. My apologies again, y'all. Hey, what's going on, Halito? What's going on? How y'all doing? Let me turn that light off. When I'm home, I don't have no light when I'm not. I don't have no lights on. The camera's infrared anyway, they're thermal. And night vision, so the camera's up. They get you heat, or get your ass walking around with light emancipated by the light around you, even the light off of you. So, so back in the house, back into his house. Let me put this back on here, plug it in because it burns kind of quick. My apologies. And see my work. That's how I wear my coat every day. My EDCs, damn, 6 minutes. I carry 2 of them. Actually, I might carry more. I might only carry one. Keep this right here. Elbow one. There we go. Oh, it feels so good. It was a little sore from doing the push-ups. I don't know why the hell. Maybe it's the hanging or chin-ups. It's one of them. And the other hurting them up. But anyway, so I'm doing this because you're not gonna hear nothing else from me about this shit. I'm just not with it. I don't need to go digging up nothing. I don't, I put my whole life out there and lay it out. And people, you're always gonna find the people who are very abusive and intrusive. You just need to be mindful and remember that. Now I know some of y'all be like, well, I really don't comment or say nothing. I be watching vids all the time, blah blah. But you're not a threat. To those who are selfish, impeding on others, and greedy, and believe that all attention they should be the focus. Da da da. Look, I'm eloquent. Look at how I talk. Blah blah blah. Proper pronunciation. Do 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 do. Nigga, I got enough written material over the last 30 years to put together motherfucking 5 biographies on my life. And you know what? I know I get rich off of selling. Stacks and stacks of my writings, bubbles, captions, squares, information, time periods, dates. That's time periods. Characters. Some had to falsify. I didn't make up. I had to change the name. I put the real name beside it on the paper stuff. Character proof. And as simple as some of the stuff is, and boring, some is so crazy, energetic. It's a high road and a low road. And you know how to do that. You'd be surprised at what you can put together. It's my life. The violent side, which wasn't violence against anyone other than opposition or books. Bad people. Never went out to cause. The only time I was upset about myself was when I sold drugs. I said, man, what am I selling my people? I remember times when I was boxing, I hit a guy so hard, I was like, damn. All right, well, I'm a chill today, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would have to go and evaluate myself. It wasn't the fact that I didn't like it. It wasn't the fact that, I didn't do it again. It's the fact that my moral response was more stable than I knew. I thought I didn't have one. Took somebody else, an older cat, pointed it out. I don't like hurting people who don't need to be hurt. But now it's a match. God damn, you might crack my little cheekbone, or my, what you call bone. You might, you know, make me look like, have me run around Stevie, but still catching the mic. I'm just saying, don't hurt me. I'm not saying we are the world, we are the children, and all that, and they're catching the, microphone. But every time you see me, anyway, right? I know that in order to do better, we know better. We're supposed to do better, right? So I just wanted to remind you that it was not a character. It was nothing but character yesterday. Because I'm aware that ain't shit gonna come of that. Not a thing. Trust me. I don't have to say anything else. Because then I can, even by saying this, implicate myself into something stupid, which I never would do. Do you get what I'm saying? There's a catch to everything when you talk a certain way, you live a certain way, especially if the people don't get the phonetics of why you're expressing what you're expressing. They'll use that against you. The enemy will. Nobody in their right mind, and people in their right mind, they know exactly where you're coming from because they look at themselves and they say, wait a minute, okay, I feel them. A little different from me, but I see. You know what I'm saying? Now, the people who are about all the foulness and the ugliness of everything, they're going to be the ones that's going to support the fuckery and the foolishness. You know what I get tired of hearing? Yo, I know y'all both. Now, fuck that. You don't know me. You definitely don't know that. Like, I'm talking about when I say that one, it's not about her. It's about anybody. All right. I'm just. And the analogy here is pure. No attacking. Well, I love how people always have these excuses Like, we really don't know each other, yo. I'm entrusting myself to deliver the best response I can or information, give you some resources and references, and share the most intimate parts of my life, so that way you can better yourself, and then you can be that astute student who becomes a more reliable and better teacher. Because we all are teachers. Problem is, not all of us are meant to go out the classroom yet. And there's some people who have been performing on the stage, and they were never ready to come out the classroom because they was in the wrong class. When I see people claiming this heritage, that heritage, and I hear them using my ancestral language, which is nothing but sounds, which is no different from most other sounds that we're speaking it right now. I've been saying that for a long time, for those of you who know me on Facebook. And people are starting to get the gist that we are actually sounding our language. It's just that we're doing it in a way that's not legalese. We're doing it in a perversion. Our words have been like canoe, water, canoe. They took it and made it mean something, so we would never think about canoe or the fact that one and one is the same. You see what I'm saying? And how they do that? Through the education system and wars. Most people are starting to really look at that and say, damn, you know what? A war. Wow. And then children, and wow. You know how many mothers committed suicides when the husband died and they had kids in the house in Vietnam? See, you'll never think to look at that number unless somebody transpose it on you or give you that information. So what I just do, I give you something to research. Were there a lot of women committing suicide in World War II, World War I, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, and then look at the other ones. You know what I'm saying? People mount. And you see a lot of our people became orphans. And family members picked some family members up, but it was great numbers. And you know what happens with that? You can turn a monster loose in the street, but you can also make that monster a responsible monster to create more monsters. That's how you get Suge Knights and shit like that. Am I? Am I giving some good information here? So I have nothing personally against her. She can call me a booty bandit. She can say I'm like that nigga on which card. What we likes in here is booties. You know, that goofy nigga on the Boondocks, that gay shit they homegirls pushing. Anyway, I wouldn't give a fuck. Cause I know me, and any woman that knows me knows me like, it's not about proving shit. You don't have to prove nothing to anybody, but proof is not a requirement. See, we've allowed, this is the control they have over our people. We allow this to give us the perception that we're outside of ourselves because of war games and all this other goofy shit. Remember they broke you in on Facebook with make a farm, and next thing you know, here it is. Now you're battling dragons and shit. Nobody sees things how they lay it out. And first, in order to see how understand how they plan, you got to notice how they lay it out, and then you start going back and you realize there's a plan into this shit. And then you'll start noticing how so many people have been nurtured in this lie, raised in this lie, and they believe that they're a little more than what they actually are when they haven't even tapped into the truth of who they are. Because if they did, they wouldn't act the way they do. Most people. Excuse me. I just wanted to come on this morning and bring a little clarification, because I believe some of y'all believe I'm like you, like I'm stuck in ignorance, and that was fun and felt good to do that yesterday. No, I just didn't give a fuck. I didn't care. That's the state where a lot of y'all need to be at about bullshit. You don't care. And so whatever come out my mouth, boy, it could have been 100 times worse than that. Literally, I don't care. What I care about is the people who I see. I tell them I love them. My affliction is no affliction. My pain and my suffering from my life has nothing to do with anybody. It had everything to do with me, the road to get me to where I am. To be able to sit there and actually listen to people when I said, no, you don't know the mountain of a climb that is, or it was. And when 300 came along, I was like, you know what? Even the truth of the 300 is our shit. I'm not here to take everything. Everything's been taken from us. I'm just stating the fact of reclamation and truth. All right. And most people around the world, when I point out certain doctors, this, that, a philanthropist, this, that, in Australia, da da da. His father was one of the biggest Aboriginal killers. I'm talking about people who know the truth, and look, they're coming out the woodworks right now. We're talking whether they Dutch, Irish, Scottish. It doesn't matter. People are upset with some kind of false envy because when I was 21 or 20, I think I was just made 84. I got to have counsel with some elders who were we call foreign in Edinburgh, Scotland, at a dank joint on a river. 90, 87, 85-year-old Masons and a motherfucker, I don't know how old he was. And I think if something went wrong, I'd have been one of them people like, accident overseas, closed casket. It happens. It was meant for me to hear what I need to hear there. It took my first son's death to make me realize that more bad people out here. But my reactions were always of the worst, even for the best, for betterment. So I learned quick not to be so reactionary. Sometimes I'm very slow to the call, though. And that's with purpose too, because I want to ensure that I was doing things that required getting done or needed to be before I would make that embark on that decision. Even if it was for a hot second in a bar with my boys and we're like outnumbered 3-1. So we say, well, I'm knocking out the first two, right? I'll walk up to them. And after that, I don't know how my hands gonna be, and realize we done knocked everybody out. Sometimes two, or even kicked them off to sleep. In Virginia had a little bar where civilians didn't like the Navy. You know, you know. So when people want to talk about truth and all that, what is truth if you're not being honest? I believe they're one and the same. Somebody sit there and say, "Well, your truth is not my truth." Nigga, I'm about being honest. So yeah, well, it's me. What the fuck are you talking about? If it's my truth, the motherfucker, I'm being honest about it. What the fuck do I need of you? So that tells me you have an issue somewhere, not necessarily with me, but with understanding what the fuck you're saying and how you mean it, your delivery, and how you your circumference of how you move around that. I don't have time for people like that. I'm just gonna say, well, I know when somebody's full of shit, and if they can't agree to disagree, then fuck it. If I say, "Oh, you full of shit," okay, people say I'm full of shit all the time. I'm like, oh, cool. That's why you see that. It look like clickbait. Dig what I'm saying? Yeah, it's not just the parents. Yeah, but because not all of them know. 'Cause you got to remember, a lot of them other children are motherfucking. Listen, you got to know this. The shit's laid out before you. The Vatican, the boarding schools, and it's not just boarding schools. There's certain other schools that are in lieu, like the Catholic schools. Orphans nurtured in a lie, taught in a fucking lie, and put in society to be the next to some to cultivate, to get in relationships, to believe that there's something else other than what the fuck they are. So they take that and pass it to their grands and their great grands. And then they pass it to this generation we're dealing right now. Because you better believe, I ain't talking about all the in between 3 generations in 100 and 360, 3 generations in a year. Talking about the full ones, not all the hundreds that come from, because that's happening at the same time. Oh, in a century, man. Look, in a year, excuse me, in a year, fucking a whole fucking nation is born. Now, half of them are killed, murdered, vacuum, scraped, whatever the fuck, morbid shit, hunted, you know, stolen away, some land island for perversions, more sacrifice. But the reality is, yeah, they're orphans. they're the children of orphans who didn't have a real history because they were sold away or stolen away. And even before that, that history was a new narrative for some, not all. That's why, man, if you can't have compassion, knowing with knowledge of the truth, then your convictions are skewed or fucked up, regardless of what these people believe. But they're going to continue to believe it if they're not brought to the truth. And thank goodness there's some pale skinned brothers and sisters who have been rising to the occasion, like fucking like somebody just let the motherfucking rat box open up. The go, what you call that Ghostbuster shit? Mac 11, Mac 1B, whatever the fuck, the chamber. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about? All the fucking ghosts, all the skeletons that came out the fucking parts and shit. They're starting to do it, and people are starting to realize, oh shit, but you still had your arrogant one. I'm not gonna say nothing about them. They speak for themselves when you start really paying attention. You dig? I know people want to believe in this and they don't want to believe in that. They want to accept everything thrown out there, like, okay, 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 okay. But it's not. You can't always respond, okay, 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 because a lot of shit is not okay. But it doesn't mean that you have to become that bottom. You don't have to become catatonic, or you don't have to react and jump all over things and shit, because that's not gonna fix anything. It's not. If a call to war is given, you better believe it'll be silent, it'll be within you, it'll be eternal, and you will not deny it. It'll be on another level you won't even understand. Better believe it won't be like that dude that killed a young man in British Columbia with that knife, that Asian motherfucker that gobbling his eyes. That's some bullshit. That talking about God made me do it. This motherfucker went out to murder that day. He wanted to get him a pale skin and murder him, one of his cousins, his kindred. I got relatives who don't care. They watch this right here too. They don't care, even though they're wearing it. I'm more in lieu of the truth. Because how did he know that? How did he find that out? Where did he get that from? He does do what he says he does. How do you, like I said again, what another person eats does not make me. Even if it's as close as what we consider family. When I tell you you're all family, it's hard to conceptualize that because we've been immersed in this competition, this fake race, human race, and all this other shit. It's all with a purpose to keep everybody from their truth, even the innermost dark secrets, to have them abide in being very non-presumptuous or making like it's irrelevant. When that truth could free you from all that darkness and them lost nights of sleep. Not everybody's meant to talk to about a lot of shit. Sometimes you got to talk to the motherfucker that might want to put your ass away. I mean, I'm just saying we're in that time and age. What was that? Right. Yeah, man. I mean, yeah, y'all popping up now. Before it was just me looking at me with my goddamn, my Cody James, baby. Oh, y'all don't know about y'all like Stetson and all that shit. Y'all like fall. What's the Cody James? Like, y'all know, you know how much this motherfucker costs? I still gotta do a little more steaming on it. And this thing old. This thing old, my Cody James. Anyway, a lot of things, because I address things, I'm doing the way I want to. Now I'm doing it a little more polite than how I would usually do it. But you better believe I can open up a can of ass with it. And I don't care what comes out of my mouth. But you better believe it'll have texture. I don't have to make threats. See, that's the beautiful thing when you know that you're violent. You know that you can hurt people. You know that you actually, you don't even have to go there. See, it's the people that aren't that way that always go there. They always feel like they got something to prove. Those of us who are really about it, we stand in the back of the room. We know everybody who got what. We know seeing everything we need to see. So when shit jump off, we know who the first we kicking in their head. Or whatever. And those people who are moving around creating that funk, they're not moving like that. Unless they're gonna rob the place, then they have everybody in the corner if they know what they're doing. Shotty's hidden properly. Mac 11s, whatever. And it don't matter what the numbers are, unless motherfuckers are really ballsy. And there's a few places where they'll turn around and start popping off. They don't care what you got. You know, they shoot each other to get at you. I'm just saying. But we don't want to be consumed in that world of fiction. Some people, so I know somebody might be saying, right? Oh, what you mean fiction? Well, it's a lie. Why are we doing it? Why are we always in conflict with one another? We got to end our lives we have yet even to live. You see what I'm saying? Some of us knew who we were all our lives because it couldn't be hidden. All right? When people found out maiden names Lee and you know, Wooten and fucking few of quite a few. They were like, oh shit, yeah. I was like, oh, what all that mean? It's not nothing. I said, see, we still living by other people's perceptions or personas. Just don't do that. Everybody is one and important. So when we start robbing each other of this and we negating by neglect, and we still want to act ugly, then you're going to get ugly in return. I'm an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. That's our shit for sure. Believe that. Just like Noah's Ark made to go for wood, well, motherfucker, we built it then. All right? So that's the bottom goddamn line. All right? I know how people have a very, very hard time processing some of this shit, of being able to dig back and go, oh, okay, and match it with each other. Oh, I found this. How many of y'all went to the library and seen that they still have microfiche film, so you could scroll down and look at some 1700 gazettes or 1800, Daily Bugle or whatever the fuck newspapers back then, right? So you can start looking and just scanning through them, don't rush, and then you start seeing stuff that'll fuck your head up. If you can read it, if it's still legible, you're going to be amazed at some of the articles you read. And if you haven't done it yet, I can understand that. It's very important that we get to a state that we're not no longer in a mind state of states. Statuses, all this new stuff. This period that has nothing to do with us, but everything against us, about us, against us. So somebody will say, well, don't that have something to do with us? No, who we are is our truth. So the lie has not a goddamn thing. There's nothing relevant about it when you know who the fuck you are. But the lie is a distraction. It's disturbance. It's a break in the force. It fucks with the metachlorine. It doesn't allow you to be the better Jedi. All right? I think maybe people will get that. You won't allow your light to shine brighter. It'll allow your darkness to be imminent at all times. That's what that shit is. To have you conflicted and confusion because that was what you was given. It's like when you first open your eyes, you see your mama, you imprint. It's important for that nurturing to lock on her nipple and feed. It's nothing sexual about it. It's so proverbial. It's in the DNA. They can't get rid of that. Then how the fuck can they get rid of the truth of who you are? It is within you to know. It's not just a feeling. It's bigger than that. And some of you got to remember now, you're not exactly the same as all of us. But some of you are, but remember, you are kindred. See, that's a different. Everybody wants to be some false glory to something. Well, our Native American community haven't done a decent deal with it. But we over and over have shown how we have created so much all over the world. We have spontaneously seized nothing because it was rightfully ours, but you see who came in and took from us everything and made a way to make a living off of it, off of a Zionist ideology. So who are the ones who put themselves like the Burgermeisters in all the positions? Think about it. I know this shit might seem like it's not that heavy. I'm not here to deliver heavy. Just like this goddamn buckle, right? I want you motherfuckers to realize there's some real cowboys, and a buckle don't make them. We have always been the people of this land, but we don't dismiss our other kindred. Because let me tell you something, a lot of them are here too. You ain't gotta believe me. I really don't care no more. I'm not into the di the diary of the mouth spewing of rhetoric because of some feeling, because and like Andalusians, we believe we naturally know all this shit, but everything we're regurgitating is based off a racist concept of some ideology, whether regardless of who's doing the documentary, and it keeps up division. It's almost rudimentary. Like that's not who we are. So people want to believe and hold on to lies, and it's harder to conscript themselves and accept a narrative that might be a little more enlightening and beneficial to some of the needs and desires they have. They don't know. I'm not here to do that either, but I think it's better to be copious with that. Somebody asked me, I can tell you, people always watch the yo, you pretty hot, man. I know you don't get like that. I mean, you very fucking direct. I said, well, see, you're looking at the camera. Do I look the same? Yeah, you know what, Red, you're right. Because you do, yeah, you straighten us all out real quick. And I talk shit, don't I? Yeah, you do, man. So who's fooling who? You're fooling yourself. You forgot. That's that quick. But it's good. It's cool. You see what I'm saying? We was cow everything, but not really based on about a cow. You gotta remember, before it became a cow, it was called cattle. Look at that cattle over yonder. Show cow for sure. The bull, the Brahma, you know, Brahmia, Brahmania. I mean, there's a lot of things, y'all. We're gonna take a little bit at a time. We still got some time. The thing is, you need to really be getting yourself together. You need prepping if you haven't. You need to go out and purchase a firearm. We've had like 5 or 6 states become conscious carry. You need to know what's going on in yours. You need to get the fuck up off the coastlines and stop being so lazy and stupid in your dogmatic way of thought. Some people, they really crack me up. You know the funny thing about my relationships and marriages, though, it was always the woman that fucked everything up, and that's not putting blame on a woman. It's putting blame on the mother and father beforehand who did the abuse. 'Cause I come to learn some pretty bad things. Some they've been through. I went through child abuse, but I didn't bring that on nobody. I was actually the opposite, overprotective, and always had a very good relationships though. Even when I came back, it was like school, whatever. It was like he's home. But then you see the crazy come out, and I just didn't tolerate. And some women just felt like I was supposed to tolerate it. I was like, no, I didn't meet you like that. You ain't gonna pull that shit out your hip pocket and put it out here. No, fuck out of here. I'm going to the hotel. Fuck out of here. I'll be there for a fucking week. And that's what I do. All of a sudden they be like, this nigga just pulled out like 10 racks. You see what I'm saying? No, cow wranglers, cowboys, the same thing. It doesn't matter. One's about action, the other's about interpretation of the individual. Cattle handlers, wranglers, two different actions as well. But there's a lot. There's a lot, but it's a good point though. There's a lot that we and I like to say we. I don't like sometimes you hear me speaking the first to the second, but I say we because what are us, man? What the fuck? And I say that on a deeper note without going into the story of our truth. I'm always speaking it. You hear it. You get the tea. It's not about getting the gist of it. You get the tea. Man, I love you too, family. I love all you, man. Even when we make correction, that's a beautiful thing. And I love what you see what she did right there, man. Let me see if I can bring it back up because I like to see what look what Amanasa did. She said cow wranglers are cowboys now, right? But that's beautiful to say that. And then there's nothing wrong with correction. Well, cowboys are the people, and wranglers is an action. Of course, hands on. And that interpretation we still use today. So it's a beautiful thing. And it's not bad. It's nothing you see, and we don't and we don't have to be indifferent. It's a beautiful thing because sometimes we need that correction. I get correction all the time, y'all. Yeah, they could be 80 and they call you a boy. Exactly. And it's B O I or B O. I forget how the letter used to be wrote. Was it a F like a S? Um, or V like I. But yeah. So yeah. So I mean, when you're studying languages, you start coming across all this stuff. And the fact that people start to realize, okay, Red does speak Chickasaw, I just don't want to do it. What the fuck I need to speak to you Chickasaw? So you can go, oh shit, he speaks it? Fuck you. Excuse me, I'm just saying. When I come to people and say Chickasaw, and they go, what? I'm asking you to speak Chickasaw. They're like, wait a minute, what? I'm like, yeah. Like, there's still people saying Anahilia, principal people. No, that has nothing to do with principal people. It means Wolf Clan. What clan are you? There's many clans in the Cherokee Nation. And Cherokee is not the name either. And they go, whoa, 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 whoa. Well, either you know because of the old heads before you, or there's somebody whispering in your ear saying, like to keep certain things secret. There's a reason why things have been done the way they've been done, and so much more. I'm not at liberty to say yet. I just can't. Because I can see some people taking that and running with that, like they found some gold, and they don't even know what it means. They wouldn't even be able to explain it. And that would not be how to nurture people. And then attempting to be somebody big on the block. It's not about that. There are those who are Navigat who are the practical heirs to certain things. So there's a reason why we were put in the position and singled out to do and learn things. They're around. You just got to be able to find them. There's a number of people like me around. Trust me. If I was able to bump into them, I think it was articulated in certain ways and meant for it to happen. For roughly around my age. You know, when I walked out that pub that day, I was given two names. Says you'll be surprised. This is what their ranks are if you meet them. I said, well, you know, my best friend's from Morocco, and the other one's Bowman from South Africa. Well, just keep listening. And when I say what I say, it's not to harm nobody in the Moors. Because let me tell you something. I don't like how the word Moors has been perverted. I'm gonna fuck y'all head up, and you might not like it, but I'm gonna help you out with something. I have something against the Dianetics of Moors being fucking Arab. I mean, being Muslims. No, they were not. And they weren't always Moors. Well, they were here too, all long ago. They've been here for a long. They even built a lot of minarets. Had nothing to do with religion. We don't call them. They were power sources, but by their designs that we all emulated on every land. We shared in this repository that they had to destroy with all these wars and shit. And this fake World's Fair. They still want to destroy St. Petersburg, Russia. Because a lot of that's from Tartaria. We have Romania. Well, it's other names, but you know, a lot of people have a hard time when they want to sickle something out, like Africa. But when you have a state that's Africa, and then you don't know that that was not the whole name of the land because it was Ethiopia, lower and upper, not an around ball, y'all, in direction. I know this is like it goes against everything that we've been given or learned, but this is what it takes. It takes those of us who don't give a fuck, want to share it with you, because we've crossed that pinnacle where we always told to be quiet. You don't say nothing. Nobody's gonna tell you when. You'll fucking know. I knew. I said these motherfuckers were online. It wasn't like I had to force myself. One day I was like, oh, did I tell you that told? I was like, at 300 motherfucker was the one that said go do YouTube. But other than that, I went on YouTube, I went on Facebook, and I went and tore motherfuckers' asses up, right? And they didn't block me. So I went and did it about 7-8 days, going in on every damn body. You dumbass, you stupid motherfucker, dumb niggas, blah, blah, blah. They was no CIA was loving it. They was recording it, and I did it for that. So to prove to motherfuckers that when you realize something is something that's totally different from what you perceived it to be, these motherfuckers are gonna hold you there to see what it is or how they're gonna attempt to figure it out when you know exactly what's going on and nobody else is aware. And you talk shit about all kind of things. And when I realized it, I was like, you know what? Yeah, I gotta do this. So y'all know I've been fighting teachers and all that shit. That's little shit. It's the other things that, like when I was talking about what if Tartarian, you know, if you transpose that and you remember what I stated, you know, half an hour ago, right? So just do the work. And I'm gonna go ahead and shut it off because I can go on and on and on, man. You know what it's like when you teach martial arts and you have to remember all these forms in this different martial arts. So you don't have to just remember all this, you know, all this in Taekwondo, but then Gosu-Ryu, Shotokan, you know, uh, Shaolin, Stepping Star, whatever the fuck, whatever it is you learn, even whether you're doing Chin style or Yun style, Tai Chi, remember all the forms. It's just like words. It's just like information. All right. And so what I did was transpose those on you in a way that's befitting to me. So with that, there's a lot more to discuss and talk about, y'all. Believe me. But I think my food about ready. God damn it. And that one glass of wine, I ain't finished it. I think that's enough. So y'all have a grand fucking day. Y'all elevate. Y'all make the best of the day. Continue to show love. The importance of it is, I think love is a small word that doesn't even grasp the whole truth of what it really is. I think we've been minimizing, you know what I'm saying, minimizing the truth of it because we've done it with ignorance. How can you tell somebody you love them and actually know you want to keep the baby away from them and child support and everything else that goes against the credo that's going to harm our people, then instead of lift them up and being united, because nobody wants to be around a sour bitch or a broke nigga. I'm just stating the fact, y'all. Broke means by spirit and energy. Sad means, I mean, sad energy. It's all energy. Fucking both sides. All right. Love y'all.